It's hard to think of someone like Albert Einstein as being anything less than brilliant. He was the man who gave us the theory of relativity and helped us understand the universe. But what if I told you he wasn't always top of the class? See, Einstein wasn't good at math when he started school. In fact, he failed his entrance exam to the Swiss Federal Polytechnic School 3 times before finally passing at the age of 22. And when he went to university, he was still considered a slow learner. It would seem that this great scientific mind had to struggle for many years before achieving greatness.
Oh.
So why is he now considered a genius? Because over time, he published groundbreaking theories and changed our understanding of science forever. His ideas are now part of our everyday lives. From satellites to solar panels to fiber optics, they all rely on Einstein's theories. Without him, the modern world simply wouldn't exist. Einstein wasn't just smart, he was gifted. He had a natural aptitude for science and mathematics that allowed him to come up with ideas that others never could. This made him special. It set him apart from the crowd and allowed him to make discoveries that changed the course of history. But what about those who aren't naturally gifted? Who doesn't have the same advantages as Einstein? Are they destined to live their lives believing they aren't smart enough to make a difference? Well, not necessarily. You see, being a genius isn't just about being born with a silver spoon in your mouth. It's also about being able to cultivate your intellect. With enough hard work and dedication, anyone can become a genius. Of course, some people will find it easier than others. Some will have natural abilities and talents that make the journey smoother. But ultimately, it's up to each individual to decide how far they want to go. What separates geniuses from the rest of us is their ability to push themselves beyond their limits, to constantly strive for excellence and never give up in the face of adversity. But this is not the story of Albert Einstein. It's the story of another genius, a genius whose name you might not have heard before, but whose inventions have changed the way we live today. Meet Hedy Lamarr. If you were around in the 1930s and 40s, you'd probably remember her as the beautiful movie star who graced the covers of magazines and captivated audiences on the silver screen. But if you were like me and were born after her time, you might be wondering, who is this lady and why should I care about her story? Well, let me tell you, Hedy's story is one that will inspire you, shock you, and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about geniuses. You see, Hedy wasn't just a pretty face. She was a brilliant inventor who helped lay the foundations for modern communication technologies like Wi-Fi, GPS, and Bluetooth. But how did she do it? How did a Hollywood starlet with no formal education in science manage to invent something so complicated? Well, let me tell you, Hedy wasn't your average Hollywood starlet. Sure, she loved the glitz and glamour of the movie industry, but she also had a deep thirst for knowledge and a passion for science and technology. When she wasn't busy filming movies, she would spend hours reading books on engineering and physics. And she would often spend late nights in her workshop building gadgets and tinkering with electronics. One day, Hedy read an article about how the German army was using radio-controlled torpedoes to sink ships, and she got really upset. She could unbelieve that these weapons of war were being controlled by radio signals that were so easy to interfere with. So she decided to do something about it. She put on her thinking cap and came up with a solution. She would create a new type of communication system that would be nearly impossible to jam. And that's when she met George Antheil. George was a composer and a pianist who was considered a bit of an eccentric. He was known for his experimental music and his strange inventions, but he was also a genius in his own right. When Hedy approached him with her idea for a new communication system, he was immediately intrigued. And together, they came up with a system that would change the world. It used something called frequency hopping, which involves switching between multiple frequencies very rapidly, making it almost impossible to detect or block the signal. This system was so advanced that it was way ahead of its time. But unfortunately, the military didn't think it was all that great. They didn't take Hedy or George seriously, and they didn't realize the potential of their invention. So the idea was shelved and forgotten about for decades. That didn't mean Hedy gave up. She continued to experiment with new ideas, and she never stopped believing in her invention. In the 1970s, her idea resurfaced when engineers rediscovered it and realized its potential. It became the basis for modern communication technologies like Bluetooth, GPS, and Wi-Fi. And today, her name is finally getting the recognition it deserves. In 1997, she was inducted into the Women in Technology International Hall of Fame, and in 2014, she was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Now here's the thing. None of this would have happened if Hedy had been just another pretty face in Hollywood. She wasn't. She was a brilliant inventor who dared to dream big and challenge the status quo. She was a woman who broke barriers and defied expectations. But she's not the only one. Throughout history, there have been many women who have been underestimated and overlooked, but who have gone on to achieve greatness. Women like Ada Lovelace, who was the first computer programmer, or Marie Curie, who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different scientific fields. These women weren't just smart, they were geniuses, but even geniuses can struggle sometimes. Just think about all the times you felt like you weren't smart enough or capable enough. All the times you've doubted yourself and your abilities. Well, know this, you are not alone. Even geniuses feel like that sometimes. But the difference between them and the rest of us is that geniuses do and let those feelings hold them back. They push through the doubt and the fear, and they keep moving forward. That's what it means to be a genius. Not that you never have bad days, or that you never feel like giving up, but that you don't let those feelings define you, that you don't let them stop you from pursuing your dreams. So the next time you're feeling down about your intelligence or your abilities, remember Hedy and all the other brilliant minds who have ever doubted themselves. Remember that being a genius isn't just about being born with a silver spoon in your mouth or having all the answers. It's about having the courage to try, to fail, to learn from your failures, and to keep trying again. It's about having the curiosity to ask questions, the determination to seek answers, and the creativity to come up with new ideas. Being a genius is a journey, not a destination. It's a lifelong pursuit of knowledge and understanding, and it's something that anyone can do. So do never let anyone tell you that you're not smart enough or that you will never make it. Because with hard work, dedication, and a little bit of ingenuity, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Now, I want you to think about the last time you were praised for being smart or intelligent. What was it like? How did it make you feel? And what did you do to deserve that praise? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because remember, being a genius isn't just about being smart. It's about being recognized for it too. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any of our latest updates. And if you want to keep learning about some of the greatest minds of all time, check out this playlist. We promise you won't regret it.